What's happening? And back with another one. This time I want to tell you the gospel. What is the good news, y'all? Like, what is the real good news? When we talk about the good news, a lot of people talk about the gospel of Jesus Christ and how he came to save us and all of this and that, right? Well, we're living in a new age and a new time. People are now looking for this Jesus outside entity to come in and just change everything. But they really don't know what it's really all about and what the Bible speaks on. Um, for example, Jesus in the Bible said to not do a lot of things, and we do those things today anyway. For example, not to worship any graven images, right? So you see people put pictures of Jesus on the cross, and it's in every church. And it says literally not to do that. He said that out of his own mouth not to do that, and we still do that. So when you question things like that and people look at you as invalid and how are you, dare you, you say not to do that when he says that. Jesus also spoke on not worshiping him. And if we can look this up. I look at it right now in your face, real time, where Jesus said to not worship him. It says what? Matthew 7. Let's look at 7, Matthew 7. Matthew 7, 21 and 23. So he says, not everyone will says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father. Many will say to me, Lord, Lord, we have not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name. And then I will declare, I never knew you. Depart from me, who you practice lawlessness. To me, that isn't a good verse, because basically Jesus. Let's look at another one. So we could look at Luke 11. Oh, wait. Because we're doing this in real time. So Revelations 22 and 9. Let's look at Revelations 22 and 9. Because what this just says to me was, hey, haven't I came in your name? And haven't I said stuff in your name? He's like, I don't know you at the end of the day. So that's that. But let's go to Revelations 22 and 9 and see what it says. Because I do a quick Google search on these things, because this is things that I know, but a lot of people won't be able to receive it unless they get it in the Bible themselves. And I also do these videos off the top of my head, because the knowledge is still there. It's just having to back it up for further proof. Let's see what 22 and 9 says. Then he said to me, see that you do not do that, for I am your fellow servant and of your brethren, the prophets, of those who keep the words in this book. Worship God. Okay, that's a good one. That's an even better one. So Revelations 22 and 9, he said, I could go back and go back to Revelation 7. He says, behold, I am coming quickly. Blessed is he who keeps the words of the prophecy of this book. Verse 8 says, now I, John, saw and heard these things. And when I heard and saw, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angels who showed me these things. Then he said to me, see that you do not do that. For I am your fellow servant and of your brethren, the prophets, and of those who keep the words of this book. Worship God. So in verse 7 was red. Everybody knowing red, that's Jesus speaking. So Jesus also refers to himself as an angel. Um, so basically, a lot of people are looking for something to worship directly, and he's like, even if this wasn't in red and this was an angel, right? This angel didn't say worship Jesus. He said worship God. So a lot of times the Christian church has pretty much put Jesus ahead of God. They sing these songs in church, talking about, Lord, I love you, Jesus, I worship you. And they make it so personal with Jesus that you leave God out the equation. When Jesus is just like a brother. Another problem that I have is, when they say in Jesus' name, and that's cool because I get the basically you're saying I'm praying to God that Jesus is a part of. You're praying to you're subscribing to that God, right? But at the same time, Jesus also is like a brother. So it's like, how can you get permission from God through your brother? I mean, imagine you got a brother, and in order to ask anything from your dad, you have to ask your brother instead of having direct access. Now, where am I going with this? We are children of God at the end of the day, and all of us know this. I shouldn't have to pick up a Bible just to show you this, but you know that you're a child of God. So what is the good news? The good news is you're God. That's the good news. It's that you are God. I repeat, you are a God. Meaning that you can create things, you can help bring life, you can take life, you can do a lot of things. Let's look at the Bible and go to Genesis 1:26. This is a famous scripture that we speak on. Genesis 1:26 says, Then God said, let us make man in our image. That's us with a capital U. So God is speaking in a plural form, and what some people know as Elohim, But that's another subject when it gets into the Anunnaki and the Elohim and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But basically, he's saying, let us make man in our image. Let us make them just like us. So if I'm a cow, I give birth to cows. If I'm a chicken, I give birth to chickens. If I'm a duck, I'm going to give birth to ducks. So if I'm a God, I'm going to give birth to gods. That's literally how it works, and that's the good news. That is what we should know, is that no matter what, we have a God in us. We have a God-like being, aura, mind. We can really do whatever we desire. And I wrote some more verses down to continue to back these claims, because when you say stuff like, I'm a God, there are people that's going to come against you and say, you're not God. And that's because they are not God. That's because they haven't tapped into their inner God, first of all. Don't let nobody trick you into making you believe that you're not a God, because you are. Money doesn't make you a God. It's a lot of stuff. It's just you existing. Now, you have different confidence levels, and that's why they want to try to devalue you or challenge your confidence or try to control you to make you feel less than, because you have the power to change this world, and really, when we come together as a conglomerate, we have power to change the entire world. Right now, we can change our immediate world and our immediate circumstances. So to further indulge in this, let's go to Psalms 82 and 6. Psalms 82 and 6. Now, it says, I said that you are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. So, there you have it right there. It's sitting there saying straight up, you are gods. They got it with the little g, but that's what it is. And this is the thing about us being gods, is that there's a certain level of understanding when it comes to melanated beings, and how we are basically being attacked for being gods. Basically, there's a psychological warfare that's happening with us that wants to deter us from this type of good news, because that's literally what gospel means, is the good news. And to know that you are very valuable, you mean something, you're somebody who is making an impact, you're somebody who can make a difference in somebody else's life. We could treat each other so great. I have a quote here that I want to read to you. It's one of my personal quotes from my personal book. And I said that if we treated people how we would like to be treated, we would live and be like gods. Because you want to treat yourself as best as possible and others as best as possible. So with that being said, this is why we have to not give our energy away to a outside entity like Jesus. It might sound very funny to you, but this is a Romans 8:28 deal, where all things work together for the good of those who love God. So you can't sit here and say, oh, you don't believe in Jesus, blah, blah. You're brainwashed, first off. I'm going to tell you drank the Jesus juice too much. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't set aside the fact that he's your brother instead of wanting him to be the everything in your life when it's you. You are the center, and if God is love, then you have love as well. Let's look at some more verses. We got 1 John 3 and 1. Let's see here. You got to flip through them things, you know what I'm saying, when you don't know the Bible, so to speak, front to back, cover to cover, like some of these pastors. But some of these pastors is not going to tell you this in this manner because they need your money and they need to control you. So 1 John 3 and 1 says, behold, what manner of love that the Father has bestowed upon us, that we should be called children of God. Therefore, the world does not know us because it does not know him. Let's see, it says, beloved, now we are children of God, and it has not yet been revealed what we shall be, but we know that when he is revealed, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. So in a way, that doesn't directly say you're gods like this one in Psalms, but it's just going back to saying you're children of God, meaning that how loved are you to be able to be considered a child of God? That is something special, and there are going to be people that don't like it. There are going to be haters of the children of God because they don't have the same benefit. I mean, if you look at it, the earth was really made for us, all the way down from the sun to the water, to the plants, to the trees. everything benefits us in such a way that we can live in a wonderful bliss. Um, and this is the thing about it that I'm gonna always tell people. You know, we love to talk about us being God, but we also need to talk about the challenges that come with life that doesn't have to exist. So I go to work, you know, or whatever, and we all look at these jobs, you know what I'm saying? We all look at the system, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna get real raw, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get real raw right here. But the same people who created the system need to be the same ones who work the system and not the children of God. I repeat, the same ones who created the system needs to be the same ones who work for the system, but not the children of God. Because they are the ones, you can call them, you know, I would say just white people, you know, just straight up, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know that y'all's people basically have created these systems thinking that this is how life is supposed to work when it doesn't. So because of that, you should be subject to what you created, meaning that black people shouldn't have to work at your jobs. Regardless, there should be some type of outlet to where black people can be freed from their jobs and not have to worry about money or anything. I feel like white people should definitely build and continue to work on their jobs until they retire, and every black person needs to be able to live free. Simple as that. Because this shit is not for us. When we go to work and shit, or different times, I ain't mean to cuss because I want to get very biblical on this one. But when we go to work and we do different things, they love to try to show us how to do their jobs. Is that literally is what happens? They take pride in trying to teach us something about something that they do, right? So it's like, we really don't care. You know, and a lot of times even black people have said this, and white people know this too, how black people are not thorough when it comes to work, right? Like when we do something, we kind of half-ass. You know, I cussed again. Oh well, sorry. But we do that. We really do. You know what I'm saying? And it's true. But you know why? It's because it's not made for us. It's made for you because you're very technical. You love to be over technicalized, meaning that you will cross every T and dot every I until you doesn't have any left, and so you just do it over and over again on top of each other. This is what the facts are, is that when we don't do something that measures up to something that you like to do, you look down upon us because we are royalty. At the end of the day, it's you guys who love to work your jobs. It's not black people, it's white folks. Y'all love to work. Y'all look at blacks as lazy, but in actuality, what I've seen before was that we are our ancestors. And the thing about our ancestors is there was a point in time where our ancestors were praying for the day that they could lay down. Praying for the day that they could just go to sleep all day. They was praying for the day that they could relax and drink lemonade in the shade. But you see, we carry out those same things not knowing that we are our ancestors and this is what our ancestors has manifested. So don't let the white man sit here and tell you you're lazy when in actuality, you just having your ancestors live through you. That's really what's happening. So by us being children of God, we're really being taken care of. We're supposed to be taken care of. But like Martin Luther King said, he is basically wondered if he has integrated his people into a burning house. And that seems like that's what happened. We have been basically ushered into a burning house, and we have been found deplorable based off of us not being able to work as hard as the white man, you know. And so when we do, you know, they hate giving us the credit. So I say, let's just give it to them, you know. That's just the thing about it. And, you know, maybe that's what slavery is truly about one day, when it says those who put us in captivity will be the ones going back into captivity. Every time I look at this, I just see how, like I said, I can't stop repeating it. They take pride in going to work. They take pride in not taking days off. I mean, if you think about it, they don't take days off. They sit there and work every single day and brag about how they got over thousands of hours worth of sick and vacation. So at the end of the day, they have created their own reality of them actually being slaves. And one day, I just pray that we all come together as a conglomerate to liberate ourselves and let them remain workers so that we can actually live our life as God intended to. So let's go to 1 John 4 and 16. It says, and we have known to believe that the love that God has for us, God is love. And he who abides in love abides in God, and God in him. So I'm going to end that by saying black people love to show love. That's one of the things. One of the biggest also news of the gospel is that we are recycling on this earth in an infinite manner, meaning that we have a level of life that's going to continue on regardless. Everything goes. That's just like the infinity symbol. It just, if you can imagine an infinity symbol with water inside, and it just flushes through, flushes through, flushes through. That is supposed to be us living in bliss on heaven on earth. But what happened? Basically, the white man has somehow severed that connection. And so the water that flushes through the infinite symbol leaks out. And it wants it to dry, you know, and it can't. And I just want you to know that it's not. But you have to wonder who did it and why. And it's basically because they have not secured their existence within the correct order. And so you have to know that because of white supremacy, life on earth is out of order. They have not fallen into their hierarchy correctly. The thing about black power, and when the thing about being melanated, the thing about melanin is that all things are covered under melanin, under blackness. All colors are found in black. And so the thing about it is that because of white supremacy, they have the wrong mindset when it comes to how life is supposed to be lived. And that's why the world is going in such a negative direction. Because the thing about it is, when you have black power, that is for all people, you know, because we are children of God, people of God, and God cares about his people. But when you have white supremacy, you have devils. You have literally demons. These people get tattoos of devils and demons on their skin. So the thing about that is that they already identify with evilness and demonics. For example, we get energy from the sun. So, and as I said in my previous videos, they try to cover up the sun. There has been articles about Bill Gates and Harvard coming up with methods to control the weather and block the sun. So this is what happens when white supremacy is out of order, because if it was black supremacy or black was in power, you as a white man come to me and say, hey, the sun burns us. We need a solution. Because a lot of times they don't come up with great ideas. They come up with ideas that's only beneficial to them and it hurts the rest of humanity. That's what happens. But one idea I would have would be to just build underground. Why not have an underground life? Why not live in a cave and deck it out? Why not? There's so many things. They have bunkers. They have created so many things in order for everything to survive and dwell, but in their benefit. And the thing is when you are for the people, you make things work for all people. So once again, because of white supremacy, uh, life is out of order. We have technicalities which are just insane and not necessarily real. And basically, what we need to do is restore order. It's a lot of times that, you know, we look at the presidency, we look at the politicians, we look at a lot of these individuals who have been operating in this system for years and years and years. And you see a tree by the fruit it bears, and basically it's not bearing good fruit, and it's time for a change. And because we're God's people, we are meant to be on top. And, you know, this isn't a call to, you know, do anything negative. It's more so to let and give them notice that their time is up, because everything around them is falling and collapsing, because there are some good white people out there. And the thing about it is they have been lied to. White supremacy has lied to the entire world and themselves. That's why it's hard for them to actually come to grips with how they're not supreme. Nature shows you how you are not supreme. It is not our fault. You do not block the sun and think that that's going to actually work out. That is what you call an extreme case of cognitive dissonance, because now we're having all of these issues and problems that's going to continue to bite them in the butt, you know. So remember that you are God's. We need to continue to create our realities, and make the best decisions we can possible. And when we come face off with these type of individuals, we need to stand firm in what we believe and what we know, meaning that we are God's. Who are you talking to? You need to get some sense about yourself. You need to leave. These are demands that we have to start making. Let's not put on a white voice. Let's not shuck and jive for the white man. But we need to put them in their place, because they thoroughly believe that we are afraid. Even when it comes to the police has a certain presence that drops fear in the next person. And because of a badge and a gun and a uniform, they have a certain sense of supremacy. Know that, because of tactics. But just know that you are still a God, and things can still be handled correctly and directly. So because of this, the gospel is to tap into your inner God. Know that because you're a child of God, God is also going to be with you. You are not demons. Stop being on demon time. Stop thinking about demonic things, and start having love for yourself and love for others, because that is truly being a God.